Oh my god, it's a Touring. It's a Touring. It's a Touring. This is the United States and that's a Touring. Yes, ladies and gents, welcome back to Seize the Speed, and right behind me is the all-new 2026 BMW M5 Touring. Let's get into it. You might go ahead and ask, it's just another modern BMW G-chassis M car. Why the heck are you losing your mind over it? And well, folks, would you just look at this? I mean, this gets me excited as a wagon enthusiast. This is what I think I am when I'm driving this thing right here, my beloved E91 3 Series. Link right up here if you want to see a review of that. But all jokes aside, it is such a breath of fresh air to see auto manufacturers listening to us enthusiasts and giving us this type of treatment. We asked for it, and they said no for many years, and eventually they brought it over, and the sales numbers of some of you folks putting crazy orders for these is proving them wrong. We want wagons, and oh boy is this wagon stunning. Yes, I called it stunning because, well, from this angle I don't see much wrong with it. It looks like a quintessential BMW. The lines, the angles, the tail lights, the M logo, of course, the M5 logo, the quad pipes, it really has it all. It has all the features you would expect out of an M car and an M Touring at that. But I do remember when the G90 was released and a lot of you were upset with the car and with the styling, but I gotta say, see one in person and it might just shift your mind. And as far as the G99, yeah, the wagon is called G99 goes, well, this one I think matches the overall dimensions of the car perfectly, hence the sales numbers. Of course, when the G90 was released, a lot of us had mixed opinions about it, but I'm here to tell you that in person, this thing actually looks like a monster. And to be honest with you, the wagon does this car its justice, because the proportions look a lot better with this front end. And for this to actually sway your opinion, well, under the hood, it has none other than the S68 4.4 liter V8 twin turbo powertrain, making a whopping 717 combined horsepower. And I say combined because yes, the new M5 is now a plug-in hybrid, so it is a torque monster indeed. Just to touch on a couple other design elements that I really like about the new M5 Touring. One is this kind of sort of a Hofmeister kink that still shows up and makes this side profile even more of a quintessential BMW. The rake in the back is actually really good looking, and well, I already mentioned the tail lights along with the quad pipes, but also this super aggressive diffuser. I mean, it's sticking out a couple inches almost. These lines that are also very BMW-esque, and inside of them they have some markers. The wheels on the M5 Touring, especially this particular one, they look gorgeous, and they are 21s. That just goes to show how massive this vehicle has gotten. And of course, we do have the wider arches on the M5 Touring. We still have the winged M-style mirror on the M5, and well, the front end, let's talk about a couple more design cues on this. And another one that really piqued my attention was just this open lower, very large grille. Here's the grille, and a big controversial point on the modern BMW M cars. And to be fair, I think this one actually pulls it off pretty well. You can see that only this section is actually part of the grille itself, which makes it even more comical to some of you guys' points. It doesn't have to be that large, it is just a style choice. This is a Touring at the end of the day, so let's go ahead and see how much room we get in the hatch of the M5 Touring. And you can see the charger that comes with the car and some of my camera gear, and well, it is very practical, folks. The storage is definitely plentiful in the back of the M5 Touring. We still have this cover. No more cargo net though. That was a pretty quintessential wagon thing BMW did for a while. You can use these levers to drop the rear seats and get a flat floor in case you want to do a Home Depot run in your wagon. Don't ask how I know, but you can fit a bunch of stuff in here. and we do have a little bit of extra storage below this cover. One thing that I'm sad to see not be available on the power opening lift gate of the M5 Touring is the rear glass. On some of the Tourings, even the E60 Tourings had the rear glass that opened up. Pretty cool, nifty feature if you just want to put a grocery bag in here and not open the entire hatch. Here on the driver's side of the BMW M5, we have this charge port that reveals, of course, how you charge your plug-in hybrid battery. And well, it is a pretty convenient feature because it gives you an additional 25 miles of range on the M5 Touring and up to 29 on the sedan. And with a level 2 charger, it takes about an hour and a half for it to go to fully charged. Let's go ahead and take a quick glance at the interior of the M5 Touring because let's be honest, I really am curious about how this thing drives. Starting in the back seat of the M5 Touring, and man, this thing smells nice inside. It smells like a BMW, if you know, you know. And well, it is also a very good looking interior. This one has this two-tone black and white leather, and right above my head we have a full glass roof. It is not an opening sunroof, but it is indeed a full glass piece that lets in a lot of light, as you can see, and makes this cabin feel a little bit bigger. Sitting behind my own seating position, I'm about 5'9", and I have plenty of legroom and plenty of headroom, so it's a lot more comfortable in the back seat than my 3 Series Touring. And we even have peasant blockers, not only for your actual main glass but also for the 3/4 glass, which is pretty fancy stuff. And down here we actually have a touchscreen for your rear seat climate control, and we do have rear heated seats on the M5 Touring. Here is this cool pass-through inside these bucket seats, and you do get another USB-C charger over here. Checking out the cockpit of the BMW M5 Touring, and the seats are absolutely fabulous looking. I love the two-tone. I like the perforated look, and of course there are many different ways adjustable. You do even have a thigh support on here. The pedals look just like the rest of the G chassis M cars. The steering wheel is really stunning. I love the tricolor M stitching all over the place. We do still have your M1 and M2 mode controls that you can customize. In the center we have a little bit of storage, of course, and right above it we have a lot of our mode selectors, which is, fortunately or unfortunately, loads and loads of piano black, so a lot of opportunity for handprints and scratches. But this is how you select M mode, hybrid mode. Your traction control is controlled through there, your parking, cameras, and of course right next to it is the new shifter in the M5. And well, it works well, it's intuitive. It isn't quite a shifter. If you enjoyed shifting using the actual shifter down here and not the pedals, well, that is no longer the case. We do have the stop start button in red, of course, in the M5, cup holders, wireless chargers, and of course ambient lights for days, and they are very bright. You can even see them in bright sunlight. And of course we can't forget about our infinity gauge cluster that flows into our center infotainment system. Of course, this black bar in the middle kind of makes it a little bit of an unsightly situation, but everything works very well and it's intuitive. The new iDrive screen, of course, is very well set up, and it is still controllable with this wheel. If you were a fan of it, don't you worry, it is still a feature inside BMWs. And I like that we have a ribbon down here for all of our climate control buttons, so you don't have to go digging into the screen for it. And we have a couple of slider touches down here, so you do have permanent buttons. Well, not quite buttons, but you know what I'm saying. And this down here is how you redirect these air vents that are kind of hidden inside your dash. Pretty cool. But let's be honest, you don't buy one of these just because you want to play with the ambient lights. You buy one of these because you're a maniac and you want to take your whole family down the street like a bat out of hell. So without further ado, let's go ahead and put our M-striped seatbelts on and hit the road. All right, driving the G99 BMW M5 Touring. This thing feels so powerful, it's ridiculous. Woo. This thing is a torque monster, folks. It is an absolute behemoth of a vehicle. I know there are lots and lots of weight concerns with this car when it was announced with the hybrid system, but I'm here to tell you firsthand, for one, it absolutely drives like a BMW, meaning you do not feel the weight in this car. These sticky tires do their job to hold you glued to the road. Oh my God. And it makes such a good sound. That S85 is as good sounding as I remembered. But of course, what the hybridization of the M5 gives you, especially it being a plug-in hybrid, you can now have a very bipolar vehicle, which means that with a push of a button, I can go ahead and put this thing in electric mode, and the V8 just turns off and everything quiets down, and the car is now super smooth going through this small neighborhood, and nobody would even know I was here. And as I mentioned, you can drive in this mode for up to 25 miles. And the M5 has always been all about being a well-rounded, do-everything vehicle. So I wasn't too surprised to see BMW taking this approach with the G90 version. And I welcome it because, well, this car is indeed a grand tourer. It was never meant to be a track weapon. It was just a perk of it. But that doesn't mean that this one isn't a track weapon, because of course with a push of a button we're back in M mode, tearing up the roads like a M5 should. The 8-speed transmission is as responsive as ever in this one. Of course, this generation of the M5 also introduced the use of the regular 8-speed instead of the dual clutch we had in the previous M5s. And well, if you have been following Seize the Speed for a while, you know that I'm a sucker for the ZF. I think it's actually one of the most brilliant automatics. It's the automatic to change the non-believer's mind, and I'm here for it. I think this transmission pretty much fills in the shoes of the DCT just fine. It blasts through gears, no problem. The acceleration in this thing is absolutely brutal. You can tell the hybrid system was very well thought out to fill in any gaps at all of boost lag, or you know, your engine whirring up to make torque, and it's just instant. Gosh, what a car. I can't believe this thing weighs some near 5,000 pounds. This is very impressive. And if you don't know my history, I've owned mainly E chassis and F chassis BMW cars, and I'm a sucker for the E chassis era of BMWs. Your E90 M3s and E60 M5s are some of my all-time favorite cars. So take it from me, this thing is awesome to drive. It is an absolute blast. And you know what's the best part of this whole package? It's a wagon. Yeah. The Touring just adds that cherry on top. This car is phenomenal. It is. And as a BMW fanboy and as a Wagon fanboy, proudly, I'm here to say that this thing is awesome and I want one. And with that being said, I want each and every one of you watching this to please do me a favor and subscribe. It might help me get one of these in my garage one day. And all jokes aside, smash that thumbs up button if you enjoyed watching this video half as much as I enjoyed driving the M5 Touring. And before I go, I want you to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. If you're a diehard BMW fan like me, if you're a Wagon fan, what are your thoughts on the G99 BMW M5? I want to hear all about it, so leave it down in the comments below. If you drive something like an RS6 and you've been behind the wheel of one of these, I want to know your thoughts. I want to know how it stacks up against its practically only other rival. But with that being said, this video is over. one last poll. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Peace out, and I'm out.